EBRProud.com presents The Runoff, Race to EBR Metro Council. Now, here's your host, Dion Guillory.
Welcome to The Runoff, Race to EBR Metro Council. I'm your host, Dion Guillory. And if you're joining us on Facebook, we're just going to ask you for a slight favor. If you could just tag a friend and tell them to join this stream, or even share the link on your timeline. So this is what we're going to do. Tonight, we're taking a closer look at the 12 candidates in the 6 races, those 6 remaining seats, that is, on the East Baton Rouge Parish Metro Council. So many of us know the councilman or the councilwoman in our areas, but do you really know what they do? The Metro Council acts as the governing authority for the city and parish of East Baton Rouge. Its authority is exercised over the city and parish general funds, all districts created by the council, the Greater Baton Rouge Airport District, the Public Transportation Commission, the East Baton Rouge Parish Sewerage Control Commission, and the Greater Baton Rouge Parking Authority. The council acts as the official policy-making board for all of the above. Now, it is required by the plan of government to hold meetings on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month. Those meetings are public. The council also conducts committee meetings on alternating Wednesdays and special meetings whenever they are deemed necessary. And those meetings are also available on the council website. So after the November 3rd election, 6 of the seats were filled. That means there are 6 more seats left open. The filled seats are the District 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, and 11 seats. District 2 incumbent Shauna Banks retained her seat with 69% of the vote. The district consists of the following areas: Alson, Baker, Beechwood, Brownsfield, north of Hooper Road to the Comeet River, and Scotlandville. District 3 has a new councilman in Rowdy Goday, who won his seat unopposed. The seat was previously held by Chandler Loop. Neighborhoods in this district include a part of Highland Perkins, Mayfair, Nicholson, South Burbank, South Campus, Gardere, Oak Hills Place, and the unincorporated village of St. George. District 5 incumbent Erica Green also kept her seat with 59% of the vote. Neighborhoods include Brookstown, Brownsfield, Delmont Place, Forest Heights, Legion Village, Marydale, Monticello, North Baton Rouge, North Sherwood Forest, Park Forest, Oakcrest, part of Scotlandville, Southern University, Victoria Farms, and Zion City. District 8 incumbent Councilwoman Denise Amoroso held her seat with 56% of the vote. Amoroso joined the Metro Council back in 2018 after her husband, Buddy, was killed in a bicycle accident. Neighborhoods in her district include Drusilla, Fairwood, Jefferson, Jones Creek, Millerville, O'Neill, Shenandoah, part of Sherwood Forest, and Stevendale. District 9 incumbent Dwight Hudson was able to keep his seat after a close race where he had 51% of the vote. This district includes Inniswold, Jefferson, Jones Creek, Klein Peter, Millerville, O'Neill, parts of Shenandoah, and part of Stevendale. District 11 will have a new councilwoman, Lori White Adams. That seat was previously held by Matt Watson, who ran for mayor president. This district includes Bocage, Broadmoor, Drusilla, Fairwood, Goodwood, Highland Perkins, Inniswold, Jefferson, Jones Creek, Klein Peter, Mayfair, Pollard, Sherwood Forest, Terra, and Westminster. Now, let's introduce you to those hoping to fill the remaining open seats. All right, let's start with Metro Council District 1. This area covers the northern part of the parish and generally runs north of a line that includes several roads, including Comeet Drive and Denham Road. While the speed traps in Baker are a conversation piece, you can easily find yourself having a good time at an event at Ruffin's or dining on Divine Cuisine at Lanyap. Now, 2 candidates are running for the District 1 seat. BR Proud's Crystal Whitman tells us what one candidate says he plans to do if elected.
Believes in Baton Rouge's capacity for greatness and believes he possesses the skills to help lead District 1. Lewis is the owner of a business solutions consulting firm, and as a lifelong resident of the area, he says he's enjoying campaigning with his family.
Everybody's really excited. We just got back to work on Wednesday and just really kind of continue what we had started. And so it's a continuation of the hard work that we've been trying to put in throughout this entire campaign. But my family's been completely supportive, helping where they can.
He's also hoping to bring additional revenue to District 1 to deal with issues like roads and infrastructure. In
District 1, we have about 5 bridges that are currently out of commission for repair. So we're standing in front of the twin bridges on Old Baker Boulevard, which connects Zachary and Baker. That's been out for about 5 years.
But outside of his work, he's also active in a number of organizations, including the 100 Black Men of Baton Rouge, the Louisiana Technology Park Board of Directors, and is also an active member of his church. All organizations, Eric says, are key to building a better and more viable community.
When I talk about attracting and retaining young people, you know, if you think about the things that have transpired this past year, whether it be the national protests or COVID-19, we have a generation that's coming up that have the ability to be mobile.
He's hoping voters see his vision in building a better district and elect him as the next Metro Council District 1 representative.
So I would say that we're anxious for this to be over. It's been a long process, you know, and so that, you know, there's other things that we need to get done. We want to make sure that we are governing, but it's been great getting a chance to meet new people, share our vision with folks. I don't feel like there's a sense of nervousness. Like I'm very settled, and so at the end of the day, regardless of the results are, you know, I know that I will continue to be active and work in the community.
Crystal Whitman, Be Our Proud.
Now for a look at the numbers. In the November 3rd primary, Democrat Eric Lewis gained 49% of the vote, putting him in a matchup against Republican Brandon Noel, who earned 42% of the vote. Unfortunately, we do not have a profile to show you of Mr. Noel. We did reach out to him, but we never received a response. There were initially 3 candidates in this race. Now we're going to move to the race for Metro Council District 4. There we'll find the city of Central, Greenwell Springs, and Comite Estates. For the longest of times, District 4 was the only place you could go to buy a Dairy Queen Blizzard. A lot of people, of course, remember that. Now, District 4 candidate Aaron Moak shares more than just politics. His passion for one movie keeps him motivated to help the Baton Rouge community. Be Our Proud's Anam Siddiqui has more.
Outweighs the needs of the few or the one.
That is the Star Trek quote Aaron Moak, city councilman of Central, lives by. He says his work in politics can relate with his love for Star Trek.
You work for everyone in politics. You work for the betterment of everyone in the area. You work for the betterment of government for the long term.
Serving 3 terms as Central City Councilman, he says he is ready for the next step. Moak is seeking the chair for East Baton Rouge Metro Council District 4, promising to continue his work with the following.
Well, these are the things that I want to continue to do and move forward with the public safety, improved drainage, better roads, economic development. We have so much to do with economic development coming off of this COVID and coming out of the pandemic.
His first priority, hitting close to home, the drainage system. During the floods of 2016, Moak's home flooded with 2.5 feet of water. If elected, Moak wants to speed up the process of cleaning our drains.
The big things that I want to do, especially for District 4, is continue with the drainage projects, continue with the bayou cleans out, continue with Beaver Bayou, Blackwater Bayou, all the other bayous in East Baton Rouge Parish, and make sure that those get done. I mean, this area out here had an 85 to 90% flood area.
Overall, Moak wants you to know he is looking forward to the future of Baton Rouge, inspired from his passion for Star Trek.
And you are in a runoff. What makes you stand out against the other candidate?
What makes me stand out from the other candidate is the leadership that I've shown in the last 3 terms, the experience that I have to get things done and work with all bodies of government.
Anam Siddiqui, Be Our Proud.
Moak is, of course, hoping that his campaign lives long and prosper. He says in his 3 terms as Central Councilman, he is proud of his work for fully privatizing services and his efforts with the drainage system. Well, Moak's challenger is Tanika James. District 4 is one of the largest Metro Council districts. Be Our Proud's Jonah Gilmore tells us James's plan for the area if elected.
The last 25 years, Tanika James has called Baton Rouge home.
A veteran's daughter, the mom of 2 beautiful girls, small business owner right here in Baton Rouge, and also a mentor.
She says she's witnessed the challenges currently facing East Baton Rouge Parish and know her contributions could make a difference.
For me, it's not about being a politician. For me, it's about just being a servant to people. And I can only do what I know, which is to help serve people.
The small business owner is seeking the Metro Council's District 4 seat, hoping to bring what she calls overlooked issues to the table. The journey getting to know Tanika started in the heart of District 4 with something near to her heart, a small business.
She wants to help people. This is in her gene. That's the way I like her. As a very, very sophisticated lady.
She definitely cares about the community, 100%. I know that.
She says often small businesses are forgotten, and it's her mission to ensure they have a seat at the table.
We need to make sure also that small businesses receive their fair share of city governmental contracts. That's from veteran-owned businesses, local small businesses like LA Uniforms here, and also minority-owned businesses.
Over the years, Baton Rouge has seen its share of accidental shootings involving children. As a mother of 2, James says she's ready to tackle gun safety.
I stand strongly with the citizens of our community that chooses to have a gun or a firearm in their home. Of course, the demand is that it's registered. I also support the fact that you have the right to be able to have that firearm, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that mandates are in place.
To have someone who's vocal about not only having your firearm for self-defense, but then to everything, the education that it takes, is very important to me.
Her platform also includes economic development, mental health, and tackling blight.
My experience in life has helped me work with people sometimes that are overlooked. And those experiences have taught me and given me a greater gratification for life today.
For James, representing her district is more than a job and goes beyond political party. She says her life's mission is to serve, and she plans to do just that.
I stand for all people in my district. I stand for all people in my community. And what that means is someone who's compassionate, someone who understands what it takes to be able to make our city a better place, someone who's not afraid to make those tough decisions. You can place me anywhere with anybody at any time, and I will get results.
Jonah Gilmore, BRProud.com.
And to read more about James's platform, you can find a link under this story as you click around here on BRProud.com. Now, let's take a look at the numbers for this race. In the November 3rd primary, Republican Aaron Moak earned 41% of the vote, making him the front runner in this District 4 race. Democrat Tanika James scored 27% of the vote. There were initially 4 candidates in this race. Now to District 6. It's an area that includes Oak Forest and Villa Del Rey. You'll also find Bel Air High School, great seafood at Southern Boilers, or even you can take a walk around the track at the Breck Park on Sherwood Forest. Now, Clarence Dunn is hoping to represent that area on the Metro Council. BR Proud's Anam Siddiqui takes a closer look at what East Baton Rouge means to him.
A businessman inspired to help his community, Clarence Dunn is now in a runoff for the Baton Rouge Metro Council District 6 race. He says his experience as a business owner connects him with the people he serves.
I think we need an entrepreneur voice on the Metro Council that can have small minority local businesses in mind when we look at procurement opportunities and just the growth and development in businesses in this area.
Dunn operates several businesses. Part of his platform is to empower local business, providing more jobs to residents.
You can come on and see the salon.
Back in early 2016, Dunn invested in this salon, one of the first in the area. He says his experience with the salon shows he is devoted to help employment.
This area has been booming with commerce, creating jobs and income opportunities, and we're proud and glad to be a part of that growth.
Next on his agenda is to focus on the Melrose East neighborhood. If elected, Dunn wants to bring a community center to the area.
It was once known as Mall City, but the community did a good job with rebranding this area. If elected to the Metro Council, this is one of the neighborhoods and communities I'd like to have laser focus on, primarily because back here there's a lot of access issues. One of them is access to transportation, which leads to access to healthcare issues, which leads to access to social service issues. And that kind of, hits home on the point of why I want to bring a community center to District 6. This would be an area that I would focus on and keep in mind. I would let the data drive where we put that community center.
And have you spoke with the residents? What are some of their concerns?
I have spoke to them. Many of the residents back here depend on public transportation. We had a bus stop there. And in Baton Rouge, we don't have a robust transportation system. So if the bus can't get you to a grocery store or to a doctor's office, many times you miss those appointments. So those are some of the concerns, and I want to be a part of the process to remove those barriers.
Part of his motivation behind running for Metro Council comes from his love to help others. Take a look. During the floods of 2016, Dunn helped rescue residents out of flooded homes. One resident, Ms. Paula, says,
how can you not respect people or want to know people better who actually saved your lives? What makes him a good fit is that he displays a caring and concern.
I think we need a comprehensive plan to address our flooding and drainage issues here in the city. As Paula mentioned, every time it rains, all of us, not just her or someone who had to be rescued, but many of us in this city are scared that we're going to repeat 2016 again.
Dunn says he plans to bring the Baton Rouge community together by using his business strategies and his love to help others.
I'm passionate about empowering this community and making a positive impact on this community.
Anam Siddiqui, BR Proud.
Now, Dunn wants the community to remember those special places in District 4 just as he does. Now, Dunn's runoff challenger is Dawn Shanae Collins. She's currently a member of the East Baton Rouge Parish School Board, and for Collins, she says it's all about relationships.
I'm running for Metro Council.
Metro Council District 10 candidate Dawn Shanae Collins takes a little time to talk to someone driving by, wondering what was going on after seeing our camera. It's something we are used to. Collins is starting to get used to it after years of running other people's campaigns.
And I never thought that I would run for office because, I'm not what you would call a polished politician. I'm very upfront. I speak my mind.
Being upfront helped her get elected to the East Baton Rouge Parish School Board twice. Inside her home.
And so this was significant to me because it was the first time I ran myself.
Frames filled with accomplishments line the walls of one room while family pictures line the walls of another. One picture of Collins is with President Barack Obama.
So when I saw him and got a chance to talk to him personally, I said, I worked your campaign. I finally get to meet you. And he told the camera guy, come on, take a picture.
In her home office are signs of campaigns she worked on and one for her re-election to the school board. On the wall, a framed mailed-in campaign donation of a $2 bill and 3 $1 coins. It's those things Collins says are part of the reason she's running for Metro Council.
I purchased this home 16 years ago. At that time, my sons were little, a single mother, and the neighborhood, it was where a single mother felt comfortable raising her 2 sons. And that neighborhood that it was then is not the same that it is today.
We had to pause our interview because of police activity nearby.
Or, we heard the police issue a warrant in the middle of an interview, So working with my neighbors as a neighbor to address those kind of issues.
Collins also wants to grow the area by focusing on the small businesses and diversity. She says creating relationships with the community and those on the Metro Council, if elected, will help.
That's how I am. I talk with everybody. I don't care what party affiliation you are. I don't care what your ideology is. I don't care if I disagree with your agenda for this, that, and the third. I'm going to keep my door open until you show me I need to shut it and lock it.
And Collins says she is ready to move from the school board to the Metro Council. All right, so now let's take a look at the numbers for this race. In the November 3rd primary, Dunn won 25% of the vote. Collins was right behind him with 23% of the vote, and there were initially 6 candidates in this race. Well, when you think of District 7, I'm sure a few things come to mind. It could be the Delpit's Chicken Shack or the TJ Ribs on Acadian, Sunday service at Living Faith Christian Center, or Mass at St. Paul. Maybe it's Capitol Elementary, Middle, or High School. Whatever comes to your mind, 2 candidates are hoping to spark change in that district. Lamont Cole is the current District 7 councilman hoping to get reelected. As BR Proud's Jonah Gilmore explains, the educator turned politician says he's ready to continue serving and making a difference.
There's no question about where home is for Lamont Cole.
This is where we grew up at right here. This is where we live, 2825 Jackson Avenue.
The longtime community servant received his college degrees from both LSU and Southern, but his educational journey in Baton Rouge started at a young age.
This is where I spent a great deal of my time growing up, because I was a student here from 1984 to 1987.
He says this land is his favorite place in the world because on these grounds, his life came full circle.
You know how people say, you know, my dream is to do this, my dream is to do that, my dream is to make $1 million, my dream is to own my own business. My dream was to be the principal at Capitol Middle.
The incumbent is seeking re-election for the Metro Council's District 7 seat. It's the very district he says is unlike any other.
I believe in the spirit of the people because it's the spirit of the people in District 7 that helped me grow to be the man I am today.
As an educator and advocate, Cole's impact is present in his district.
Lamont was a shorty then.
With a jerry curl.
With a jerry curl, that's right.
He says it's the history and faith in his district that keeps him fighting.
As an 8th grader, turn around and be a business owner while I'm the council person, that's what it's about. That's what this is about. All that other stuff, that's what it's about. To keep people like him from being on the street. And he's providing jobs for the community. That's what makes me proud. That's what makes me happy. And that's why we continue to do this.
His platform includes tackling crime, blight, and a list of other issues he says his district faces.
We have to work with our mayor's office to create a comprehensive drainage program that includes consistent and regular maintenance. We have to continue along this path of blight remediation so that we can put properties back into commerce, public safety. And that is going to be creating a partnership between the community and law enforcement and putting the resources and funding in that partnership to reduce crime. So we have to begin that work yesterday, and we have to continue that work every day.
For Cole, the past 4 years has been memorable, providing the community with events,
my responsibility to make sure they know I care,
and being the change he promised to be.
Christmas.
As voters head back to the polls, he says he has hope in District 7.
Give me an opportunity.
Because home is where the heart is.
We hadn't done it all, and there's still a whole lot of work to do. But the only way we learn to do the work is by actually doing the work.
Jonah Gilmore, brproud.com.
To find out more about Lamont Cole's platform and his accomplishments, you can find a link under this story as you click around here on brproud.com. Well, Alfred Bell is hoping to unseat Lamont Cole. This is his first time running for office, and he says he believes he will win by a landslide. BR Proud's Kennedy Walker finds out why Bell believes he's the best man for the job.
Back in November, incumbent Democrat Councilman Lamont Cole received 48% of the vote, while Democrat Alfred Bell got 14%. Metro Council candidate Bell grew up in Baton Rouge. He says he never imagined that he would run for elected office.
I live here all my life, and I want to make a change in the area that I live in.
Bell is not like most candidates. When he was younger, he spent 8 years in prison, but he says he believes his past is what sets him apart.
When you walked outside, you seen drug dealers, pimps, armed robbers, jackers. That's what I seen going to school, and I became one. I became a drug dealer because that's what I seen. So now I talk to people, letting them know just because you see it, you don't have to be it.
Now his mission is to help convicted felons transform their lives. He owns Bell's janitorial service, and his slogan is cleaning the world one building at a time.
Somebody gave me a second, third, and fourth chance. So in my company, I hire second, third, and fourth offenders to give everyone a chance.
If elected, Bell says the first issues he would tackle in District 7 is blight and crime.
So it's hard for a person to take pride in this area when you're looking at all this blight and all of these abandoned buildings. It only breeds crime.
And his family will be right by his side.
He definitely has a heart for the community, and he knows the community.
The runoff is Saturday, December 5th, and Bell says he believes he will prevail. For your local election headquarters, I'm Kennedy Walker.
And Bell says he will start tackling issues immediately if he is elected on Saturday. All right, let's take a look at those numbers for this particular race. In the November primary, Lamont Cole, the incumbent, won 48% of the vote. Alfred Bell had 14%, and there were initially 6 candidates in this race. District 10 houses both Southern University and LSU along the banks of the mighty Mississippi. It's also home to McKinley High School, which was the first high school for black people here in Baton Rouge. 2 candidates believe they have what it takes to push that district forward. Carolyn Coleman, she's lived in District 10, that is, her entire life, and after running for the same seat 16 years ago and coming up a little short, she felt compelled to do it again. VR Proud's Courtney Williams sat down with her to see what inspired her to run again and why some say she's fit for the job.
As I look around, there are still some things that are not where they ought to be in 10.
Carolyn Coleman is what some would call homegrown in District 10, as she has spent her entire life in the area.
I've lived in the district, as I said, right here for 23 years. I even attended school in this District 10, Perkins Elementary, McKinley Junior, McKinley High, Southern University, and LSU.
She previously ran for the same seat in 2004, but didn't win. Her children assumed she would enjoy her retirement after working nearly 40 years in the East Baton Rouge Parish school system, but she decided to go for it again.
I still have some more to give. And when you have not finished your giving, you'll know.
She has hit the ground running ever since, and she's gotten to listen to residents who felt neglected in the past.
No one ever reach out to them. No one ever include them when things are going on. So you've got to be inclusive. You must understand that this is not about you.
Her main focus in the area includes safety, decreasing blight, and job creation.
When you look at 10, 10 is a versatile capability of being very vibrant district. And so I know what the possibilities are for this district, and I want to be a part of it.
Coleman wants to also see more involvement with community policing.
I say true community policing. I want the police to know the community and the community to know the police. I want the policeman to feel free to even say, hey, I want to live in my community.
Even those who lived in the district say they want to see a change as well.
All these rotten houses, tear down and rebuild.
A lot of these abandoned houses, a lot of them, you know, they need to be restructured, reformed, and, you know, do more something for the kids to get up out the streets, you know.
Business owner Kirsten Roberson says she was initially located outside of the district, but moved back. And she says she can see where the district is moving forward in a positive direction.
We're growing. I think we're coming to a place where the crime is getting better. I think we're coming to a place where we are seeing housing development, economic resources growing. So I think it's growing, and we're drawing more people near in District 10.
The district that has shaped Coleman to the woman she is today is the same district she hopes to heal and push forward for the better.
That which I started with, That's what I will end with. The bottom line is I am capable, I am courageous, and I am committed. I want them to know that they can count on Coleman. I want them to know that each one of them count.
And that was Courtney Williams reporting. Coleman says she wouldn't be where she is in the race without those who have been supporting her since day one, and hopes that is reflected on Saturday, which is Election Day. Well, Coleman's challenger is Jay Goday. He's a small business owner who says the city is changing generationally, and he hopes to lead that change on the Metro Council. Metro Council District 10 candidate Jay Goday says Baton Rouge is changing. We met at the parish's juvenile services. It's the place he says was his first chance at public service when he was hired as a detention officer.
Working in this space, you know, being a detention officer here, it showed, especially being so young, it showed me that I had a responsibility to the youth.
Goday says he was then promoted and worked with families who lived in District 10. That's when he says it hit home for him. Goday was raised by a single mother in New Orleans. He's a Hurricane Katrina survivor who relocated here to Baton Rouge. He became a father at 14, but despite the odds, he went to Southern University and earned a master's degree in criminal justice. He then started Restore the Block to address blight in the district. It's that work that connected him with current District 10 Council member Tara Wicker. She supported his campaign from the beginning.
Her biggest advice to me was stay true to yourself.
Goday says he's also earned support from several of his former challengers. Collaboration is a word he used often during our conversation. He says is the only way the Metro Council can help the city parish move forward.
The Metro Council has to be able to work together despite personal beliefs and personal views. Despite how they feel about the person sitting next to them or across the table, we all have to be able to work together because we have a responsibility as a body.
He believes the council needs to come together on the $5 million judgment for Alton Sterling's children, increase in police pay, and getting illegal guns off the street to help lower the violent crime rate. District 10 is the most diverse Metro Council district in the parish. It runs from part of Scotlandville all the way south to LSU.
I'm not coming to the table to say I know everything. I'm coming to the table to say I'm a leader that understands that you are only as good as the people that you surround yourself with. So I'm a leader that wants to build a team. I'm a leader that knows that I'm not going to always be the smartest person in the room.
And to find out more about Jay Goday's plan, you can head to this story, and there's a link there on our website. You can look around on brproud.com. So for this race, let's take a look at the initial numbers from the primary. So Carolyn Coleman led that race with a 27% of the vote. Jay Goday received 18%. Our final district of the night is District 12. That's where you'll find Kenilworth, Tigerland, and the Pennington Biomedical Center. And if you need some fresh air, you can take a jog around the LSU lakes. It's an area that many of us know continues to have major growth, and that is reflected in everything in our city. Now, Councilwoman Jen Rocca was selected to take over Barbara Freiberg's seat as she moved on to become a state representative. BR Proud's Abby Rocha tells us about Rocca's humble beginnings and the race to remain councilwoman for District 12.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Jennifer Rocca to the District 12 seat.
Councilwoman Jen Rocca grew up in the small town of DeQuincy, Louisiana. She says her work ethic was passed down from her mother.
She was an extremely hard worker and would be gone most evenings and weekends. And I watched some of the struggles that she had, not having an education and not being able to get high-paying jobs.
With the odds against her, Rocca had her sights set on being a lawyer, a lifelong goal she later achieved.
Despite the fact that I knew that we were financially strapped.
Her strengths are from her personal experience working with city parish government.
When government doesn't work, it's working families who pay the price.
Through this, she says she is building bridges and communication in her district.
Knowing people within city parish, knowing a team, having established relationships with the people that work and do the day-to-day trash pickup, drainage, maintenance, all of those people, having relationships with them and building bridges with them to make sure that the job is done efficiently is a key to being successful in this position.
Multitasking, balancing multiple jobs, and being a mom. This difficult task is something she says she is accustomed to.
This is not foreign to me, and my husband is absolutely amazing.
Rocca's campaign built on cutting through what she calls political games to get results that people can see.
Just being able to move forward, to be able to support the community that we have, but also attract other people to come to our community and to stay.
For BRProud.com, Abby Rocha.
Now, Rocca is running what she calls a nonpartisan campaign. She says she's committed to being a voice for her constituents and advocating for their interests, no matter how big or small the issue is. Well, Tanya Nyman says for years she's been battling issues in her district. BR Proud's Kara St. Cyr explains why Nyman says she's ready for change.
When the ballots were cast last October, Tanya Nyman was disappointed. The votes favored incorporating a city of St. George, a cause she'd been opposed for years.
I first got involved in 2012 fighting against the breakaway school district. And when that morphed into the breakaway city issue, I researched that too.
Now with incorporation just a few court dates away, her views haven't changed. Nyman says St. George has a few flaws, including the boundaries, which she claims aren't fair to everyone. For instance, this apartment complex on Bluebonnet and Glenstone is close to the boundary, but it doesn't make the cut.
The line has been drawn up this street and around this apartment complex, effectively disenfranchising the parish residents from their ability to participate in that vote.
Such small cutouts compound Nyman's concerns that incorporation is a willful attempt to suppress opposing votes. And another concern,
the profound economic harm that's going to create for the entire parish, as well as the residents of District 12.
The proposed city plans to fund public services through sales taxes. Nyman questions how reliable that would be. She's also worried about redistricting, an issue she's followed since working with public school advocacy groups.
We need to make sure that our Metro Council districts aren't gerrymandered in a way to disenfranchise voters.
She fears St. George city lines may affect how people are allowed to vote, similar to the issue she brought up with the apartment complex on Bluebonnet. If the courts do rule in favor of St. George's incorporation, Nyman has a plan to minimize any threats to her district and to the rest of the city parish.
We need to mitigate the economic harm that would be created by that new city. We need to make sure they pay their fair share of legacy costs, they pay their fair share of bonded indebtedness, preferably that they pay for the fair market value of the infrastructure that this entire parish invested in.
Kara St. Cyr, BR Proud.
And she says she's ready for the job in ways her district has never seen. All right, let's take a look at the numbers for this race. In the primary, incumbent Jen Rocca received 49% of the vote, and Tanya Nyman received 45%. This was one of the closest Metro Council races in this primary. There were initially 3 candidates in this race. All right, so that does it for the runoff. We aren't telling you who to vote for, but we just want to give you a better idea about the people who are running for Metro Council to represent you and your interests. If you didn't vote early, don't forget to vote on Saturday. And for more information on the candidates, simply click around on the election headquarters, your local election headquarters tab on the BR Proud website. At the top, click Baton Rouge Metro Council candidates. There you'll find full profiles on most of the candidates that include their community involvement, resumes, and answers to some very important questions so you can make a sound decision when you go vote. Thank you for watching the Runoff Race to EBR Metro Council. I'm Dion Guillory. Good night.